One of my absolute favorite aspects of the fish keeping hobby in general has got to be finding a way to get the most water for your fish and spending the least amount of money to do it. And that's exactly what we're gonna do today. What's up everybody, and welcome to today's video. If you are new to the channel, my name is Zach. This is SC Fish Keeping. I appreciate you stopping by. Please hit that subscribe button down below if you have not already. Like I said, we are going to get the most water we possibly can and spend the least amount of money possible, and I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do it. There's really one place that you need to start, and that's none other than... So what you want to do is you want to make your way through the store out into one of these kind of outdoor yard centers, and what you're going to find is their selection of stock tanks, and they have everything from like the bright shiny metal ones to the plastic ones. And if you've been with the channel for a little bit now, you might recognize one of these. This is the 300-gallon Rubbermaid stock tank that I actually have my muskie and my largemouth bass in. But we're not doing anything nearly that big. They have everything from 150 gallons to 50 to 100, and these Rubbermaids are great. They're super hardy, but there's one other kind of different brand, and that's this guy right here. So whatever this Vortex brand is, they call them different things, but this is 110 gallons. It's that same kind of hard plastic. It's that same kind of like hard plastic. It's tough, but yet it's lightweight, and it's 110 gallons. The main difference between some of these like Rubbermaids and the bigger ones, this doesn't have a drain. But if you're not using the drain, which has a tendency to leak, you don't need that. Best part is, this thing right now is on sale for $64.99. It's 110 gallons for $64.99. Compare that to the 50-gallon Rubbermaid one for the exact same price. You're getting over double the amount of gallons for a pond. So I just need to go tell someone that's the one I want. We'll load it up in the truck, and then I'll show you the next stop as we build our little native fish pond here. So this thing actually rang up over there at $59.99, which is $5 less than what I thought. And with our goal being do this entire 110-gallon stock tank for $1 per gallon or less, that $5 is going to help. But that brings us to our next stop. Oh, I'm blocking it. Lowe's. So then once you're at Lowe's, you're going to want to make your way back to like the mulch and the rocks and the just kind of bedding and stuff. And this is for your substrate. Now there's a lot of different options you can use here, and they're all cheap. You could go with something like the fine stones, like a pea gravel. You could also go with something a little bit bigger, like a river rock. And then one of the cheapest and one of my favorites is actually using play sand. Truth of the matter is, technically you don't need substrate, so this cost really doesn't need to be added into like the basic cheapest pond build that we're doing. But to me, substrate is a must, so we kind of had to add it in. And this is a spot where you get creative. So for me, I went with one bag of the play sand, the 50 pounds of play sand, and then I got one bag of this kind of bigger river rock. But it's a little dirty, so we're gonna have to clean that. But you can do whatever you want. This is what I went, and obviously it didn't add a whole lot to the cost. And that leaves us with just one more stop to get everything else that we need to make this cheap DIY native pond. And of course, there's only one place that you can go to find every single thing that you could possibly need to complete this pond build, and that is none other than the wonderful world of Amazon. So this is where your pond build can really take any direction that you want as far as what you're going to use for filtration. If it's inside, you need to heat it. If it's outside, maybe you need a lid, all kinds of stuff like that. But again, I'm trying to do this for the cheapest possible price we can, keeping it around that $1 per gallon. So what I ended up using for filtration on this was one of these, the Tetra Whisper 100 Aquarium Air Pump. It can handle up to 100 gallons, but the big thing here is it has 2 outlets to hook up your filters, which brings me to the filters. 2 of these. These are just simple aquarium sponge filters. One last thing that I decided to buy, airline tubing. Super cheap, 25 feet of it. It's gonna be more than enough. The last 2 items I'm not gonna factor into the cost of the build, because if you have aquariums, odds are good you have this on hand. And then depending on how quickly you wanna set the pond up and the way you go about it, you might not even need to use these. Of course, that is a dechlorinator. I use the Seachem Prime, and then some sort of bacteria starter or a quick start I just had some of this API quick start on hand. After you have all your equipment, you're going to want to find a spot to place your pond. For me, it's going over here in this sort of unused seating area of my little patio here. Once you got it in place, all that's left to do is start assembling it. And the first place you want to start is with your substrate. Again, you don't have to use substrate. If you wanted to run this thing just bare bottom, you could save a little bit of money. I'm using substrate. If you are, make sure you wash it. I missed the pond. Oops. And just like that, we're ready for water. So, all right, turn it on. Okay, here it comes. Thanks. So pro tip, when you build your own outdoor pond at home or indoor pond, don't spill the rocks everywhere and then have to use a shovel and pick up a bunch of grass and dust and stuff like that, because it will just float in your pond. But this is about as clean as I was going to be able to get that stuff. Those rocks were like covered in mud, but that's okay. We'll get the filtration on, and then hopefully by tomorrow this pond will be nice and clear. To do your filtration with these sponge filters, it's really easy. You're going to want to take your airline tubing, you're going to want to cut off, you know, a little section. Take your sponge filter, pop this little tube off, which, focus. Run your tubing through there, connect it to the other side of the sponge filter. Put that back on there, and then your bare end goes into your air pump, and then you throw it into your dirty pond. And then repeat the process exactly as before for the other one. Then it's just a matter of hooking them up. And then give it some power. So it's been about a day since we went ahead and set up the outdoor DIY super cheap pond. And as you can tell, the water has really started to clear up. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting there. A few more days and this thing will be crystal clear. Now, we set out to set up this pond for $1 per gallon, and I want to show you if we accomplished our goal. So we started out with a 110-gallon stock tank from Tractor Supply, and that cost us $59.99 on sale. From there, we added a Tetra Whisper air pump, 2 sponge filters, and a little bit of airline tubing. For substrate, we went with some natural-looking river rock as well as a bag of sand, bringing our total to $116.50. Now let's say you really wanted to make this as cheap as you possibly can and you decided to go without the river rock or the play sand. That would actually bring your total down to $109.12. That means we accomplished our goal, and if you wanted, you could build this exact pond for less than $1 per gallon. Now, with that being said, I do have a little bit of a disclaimer. So when I was planning everything for this pond build, this was not the original location of the pond. It was not going to be an outside pond. It was going to be an inside pond. Well, that means I bought all my filtration and stuff with the idea of it being inside, and this guy is actually not recommended for outdoor use. Not to worry, if you still want to set up this pond in this exact same way, there's a way you can do it. And that's just buy yourself a little tote with the latching lids, and then I would drill a couple holes in the side to run your airline tubing out, and then one on this side to run your cord out, and that's essentially going to weatherproof it. So you can still run this air pump and have this pond the exact same way for the same money that I showed you. But that got me thinking though, obviously this air pump being in a little storage tote is not the ideal way to run a filtration for a pond. It'll work, but it's not ideal. So what if for my next video we optimize this pond and make it like the perfect outdoor patio pond by building a DIY filter? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build not one trash can filter, but I'm going to build another filter in that next video that's like perfect for a little outdoor pond. All DIY, all super cheap. super simple. Part of optimizing this pond and finishing it though is obviously going to be adding the fish, and I want to know what you guys want to see. So go down to the comments, give me some ideas that you want to see for this outdoor patio pond. We could go catch like some native minnows, we could catch some sunfish, some bluegill, or you know, put some goldfish in it. Whatever you guys want to see, let me know, and that's what we'll do. So my next video is going to be building 2 different types of filtration for this and showing you how to do it, and then we'll go out and collect some like wild driftwood and rocks and really step up the game of this pond. So hopefully you guys are excited about it. Again, let me know down in the comments what you want to see in this pond. Also let me know if this is something that you guys would build. I show you a lot of like things that I build, and sometimes I think I'm a little crazy, but is this a type of pond that you guys would consider building? I mean, it's cheap and it's easy, so let me know down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it, comment, subscribe if you have not already. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, this is Zach with SC Fish Keeping, reminding you that every fish is a keeper. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. See you soon. Mwah. Mwah.